I will show you how to solve this puzzle 42% faster and how you can use this trick to solve other puzzles even faster than that. And with that, it's solving time. Look here at where the ones can be in block 5. With this one in row 5 and this one in row 6, the only place for a 1 is right there. And instead of looking to where to mark the ones, if you notice that with these 7s and these two 7s, you only have one place for a 7. In block 2, you can mark that instead. Greetings, friend. SudokuCon 2025 starts next month in Boston. Rockrat Zero is one of the event organizers and made the starting grid of this puzzle to look like Boston Harbor. Thank you, Rockrat Zero, for this enjoyable puzzle. I think it's perfect to show you a shortcut that will allow you to solve puzzles like this much faster. I will even reveal later in the video where the 42% comes from. But before I move on, I want to hear from you. What is one way that you have sped up your Sudoku solving? Please, please, please share it in the comments and help me grow the internet's best Sudoku community. Now with these 2s, you'll see with this 2 and these 2s in rows 7 and 8, there's only one place for a 2 in block 8. It's right there. And since you scan down block 5, you'll notice with these 2s now, the only place for a 2 in block 5 is right there. And with these 2s and this 2, only place for a 2 in block 6 is right there. And you look up and you see there's 2 places for a 2 in block 3. But instead of marking that, maybe consider changing your focus a little bit. Instead, notice here in block 5, you only need a 6 and a 9. Well, with this 6 right here, that has to be your 6 and that has to be a 9. And then with these 2 9s and this 9, you can solve for a 9 right here in block 6 and then solve for a 9 here in block 9. Okay? And you'll notice you come up here back to block 6 with these 5s and this 5, you can solve for a 5 right there in block 4. And with these 2 5s and this 5, solve for a 5 in block 1. And with these 5s and this 5, solve for a 5 in block 3. And then look here across row 6. You only have 2 digits missing, right? A 3 and an 8, because you have a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 9. Well, with this 3 right here, that's got to be an 8, and that's got to be a 3. Now, stick with the 3s. See how this 3 comes up here, and this 3 cuts across row 2? Means you can solve this for a 3. And then with these 3s and this 3, you can solve for a 3 here in block 2. And with these 2 3s, you look and see you can't quite solve for a 3 there just yet until you see that these 2 5s allow you to solve for a 5 right there. And then you can solve this for the 3, and then follow these 5s and this 5 to solve your last 5 here in block 9. And the puzzle name gives you a big clue on how to solve this puzzle and how to solve it faster. Boston area singles. What does that mean to you? What I'll tell you is you want to hold off on making marks until you get stuck. So notice how the 4 comes down into block 8 so that the only place to put a 4 is right here. And then it creates a full house. 8 of 9 digits filled out in column 5. The only thing missing is a 9. So you can solve that for a 9 now. And what that leaves is a 1, 4 naked pair here in column 6, right? Because you have a 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has to be a 1 or a 4. I'm going to highlight that. What that means to you is you know now a 1 has to be one of these squares. With this 1 here, a 1 can't be there. Where can a 1 go in row 1? It can only go right there, right? And so you can solve this for a 1 now. And then look down, column 9, you have a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9. You just need a 4 and a 7. Well, with the 7 right there, you can solve this for a 7 and solve that for a 4. And then what does that do for these 2 cells? That has to be a 4, and that has to be your 1. And now with your working memory, you remember that's a 4 and a 1. You quickly solve both of those. And now you can look here with this 9. You just need a 9 and a 1 right there in block 8. So that's got to be your 9, and that's got to be your 1. And follow these 9s here with these 9s and this 9. Solve that for a 9. And then the question is, do you want to continue looking for 9s? Or do you want to stay in here and look for switch digits? Well, I'll tell you that it's easier on your cognitive load to stay with the same digit. So if you can go up here and notice with these 9s, there's only one place for 9 and block 1, that's where you want to go. It's going to be the easier solve for you. But then when that's done, then you'll need to switch to something else. And so what you might see now is we follow these 2s up as your eyesight went up these blocks. With this 2, you can solve this cell now for a 2. And then follow your eyes. With this 2, do a little cross-hatching and solve that cell for a 2. You remember we didn't have to mark those 2s anymore because you're able to disambiguate in these cells right here. And then you can see after this 2, this 7 comes down. This 7 cuts across. You can solve for 7 in block 9. And I'm about to reveal the trick you can do to solve puzzles like this 42% faster. First, you want to make a few more solves. You might notice that with these 3s and this 3, you can solve for 3 in block 7. You can solve for 3 right here. Now finish up this row. You got a 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. You just need a 4 and a 6. Well, you got a 4 right there. So here's your 4, and here is your 6. And then after doing that, you can look in column 3, since you just added a digit. So you can look at row, column, or block. In this case, we'll go for the column. And you just need a 1, 7, or an 8. And since you have a 1, a 7 right here, and a 7 repeated, this has to be your 8. The only place the 1 goes right there, and that's going to be your 7. And then you'll notice that you just need an 8 and a 1 here. With this 1, that has to be your 1, and this is going to be your 8. And so here's the trick. Have you noticed that you did not have to make any marks to get to this point in the puzzle? If you see another easy solve close to your last digit place, just do it. Do that solve instead of focusing on marks. When I solved this puzzle traditionally, I made 41 extra marks to go with the 57 cells that you have to solve. So instead of 98 total marks on the grid with traditional methods, you only have to make 57, which saves you 42% of the marks you would have otherwise made. So the puzzle name gave a big clue that this puzzle was a little bit easier than normal to solve. But if you could also keep pointing pairs, naked pairs in your working memory, and your working memory will stay there for about 10 to 15 minutes of the last things you thought about, it will drastically reduce the number of marks you need to put on the grid. And that will help you reduce clutter. It'll help you if you're marking with pencils to not do erasing, and you can just get into a smoother flow of solving. So now you made this 8. Continue up the column here. All you need is a 6 and a 7. Well, the 7 right there. There's your 7 and there's your 6. And now you can clean up all this. That's got to be your 8. You got to have an 8 right there and an 8 right there. Means this has got to be a 6. That's got to be a 6. And you just clean all those marks up. You notice across here, full house, that's got to be a 1. With this 8, there's no 8 in row 9. So there's your 8 and there's your 4. And just follow that last digit up and notice that that cell has to be a 4. Then follow it across. That has to be a 4. Stay in the block because it's easier for you to see that. And you can solve this cell now for a 6. And follow this 6 to put the 6 right there. And then your last digit is a 3. Now challenge yourself to solve this next puzzle without marks. Thank you so much for watching.